Here we're going to take a look at what it means to use the complement rules for probability. So to go to or look at the complement rules for probability, the first thing that we need to do is remember what complement means at its most basic form. So the easiest way to think about it is a set. So a set is essentially a collection of numbers or items. We like to call it elements. Basically, it's a collection of whatever it is your problem has to do with. Usually in math, we're talking about numbers. So your collection of your elements. Well, a complement is talking about all of the elements that are not contained within your set. So the easiest example is if we're talking about, say, a set of all even numbers, okay, so for example, things like 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, etc. The complement would be a set of all values that do not fall in your set. So in other words, my complement would be the set of all odd numbers. Okay, so we're talking about things that are not contained. Well, we can stretch that into probability. So when we're talking about the complement rule for probability, well, we're talking about the idea behind the events that are not contained within our wanted event. Okay. Now, one thing we know is that if you were to sum up all your probabilities, it has to equal 1, because we know by definition of probability we are looking at a decimal that falls between 0 and 1. So with that, with looking at a decimal that falls between 0 and 1, we can take a look at an idea and we can find the probability that that event occurs. To find its complement very simply means you would take 1, subtract away the probability you have, and that's going to be your complement probability. The easiest way to explain it is with this example here. So we have that a school reported that 86% of its seniors graduate. What is the probability that a senior will not graduate? So the first thing we have to look at is the probability that we are going to graduate. Well, we are told that this is 86%. And we know that we can take a percentage and we can rewrite it in terms of a decimal. So the rules for that is you would divide by 100, and that is going to give you your decimal, so 0.86. So the probability that we graduate is going to be 0.86. So in this case, in order to find the probability that you do not graduate, is going to be 1 minus the probability that you did graduate. So in this case, we know that the probability of graduating is 0.86, so we would do 1 minus 0.86. And in this case, we would find out that the probability of not graduating is 0.14. Okay? In other words, 14%. Now that's really all there is to it. There's nothing else more fancy or anything more specific we need to do. Essentially, to figure out a complement, you just have to take the probability of your event occurring and do 1 minus that probability gives you your complement. So if you have any questions, please let me know. Otherwise, I do hope you enjoyed this short video, and I'll see you next time.